he then says Mitt lying about Mormonism, and he quotes a interview on Good Morning America. It was one with George Stephanopoulos. I'll have this linked. He has the audio going in the background. And this is really, this was George Stephanopoulos horribly botching a question. Just horribly botching a question. And he knew what he wanted to ask, and he didn't ask it the right way. And Mitt Romney's objection to it was completely correct within the confines of Mormonism. There was no lie about Mormonism there. I'm going to kind of briefly sum up here what George Stephanopoulos did in the asking of the question. Essentially, I don't have the stuff in front of me verbatim, so you're not going to get exact quotes. But essentially, George Stephanopoulos asked Romney about the Mormon belief of Jesus Christ coming to the Americas, coming to Missouri. The way George Stephanopoulos places it is he says, Mormons believe that Jesus Christ, or he's asking how this will affect his relations with Muslims throughout the world as they see this theology of Mormons. And the way that he puts it forward is he says that Mormons believe that Christ will come and reign in Americas for the millennium. Now, we believe that Christ will come to the Americas previous to his second coming, that will not be his second coming. We believe that he will come and he'll do things. His feet will not touch the earth at that time, and the rest of the world will not know about it. Most of our own church will not know about it when it happens. But when he comes in Jerusalem and the earth is transformed into its millennial glory, there will be two capitals, but Christ's throne will be centered in Jerusalem, and then a new Jerusalem will be here in the Americas, and Christ will reign from the old Jerusalem, and that's, the temple will be rebuilt in the old Jerusalem, and that's where he will have his second coming. And so when Mitt Romney objected to, I said that that's not what we believe, he was completely correct. And if he had said yes, and then some people are going to come forward and say, well, why didn't he go through and explain it? Well, you could ask the same thing of Mike Huckabee on a great many things that he's answered. He'll come up with some, just laughable, immediate response, and then just kind of get something through. And you don't go into doctrinal depths because they don't give you time for that on a national show. And most of the American people wouldn't give you time and listen to what you were going to say, and it would get convoluted. But we have this forum, and so I can lay it out. And if you have any other questions about that, feel free to ask me. I'll be happy to answer them. And then the stuff about the NRA he brings up. Mitt Romney became a member of the NRA, and the reason I believe he referred to it as a lifelong member was because he had given an amount of money that was considered a lifetime membership to the NRA. And I'll admit that is kind of, it doesn't mean that he belonged previously, but it's a lifelong membership from that point on. And, again, all politicians do this. I can point out instances for any of them. You pick a candidate, and I can find you some instances where they've done things akin to this. McCain's done quite a few recently. And another thing, too, is at one point Romney said that the NRA endorsed him. And, that was probably not the best choice of words, because the NRA didn't officially put out a paper endorsing him, but they did take their own, paid staff and paid them to call people up and tell them to vote for Mitt Romney as governor of Massachusetts. Now, that's not an official endorsement, but can't that be seen as some kind of endorsement? I'm really not following the whole thing. I kind of wonder if Real Life Poet questions the position of Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. Hezbollah means the God's party. It's pretty clearly a terrorist group, but then he does this whole dog thing, which I really don't get. The dog issue isn't something I would want to be touching if I was a Huckabee supporter. All the stuff with Huckabee's son and the dog is really not comparable to strapping a dog to the roof of a car inside of a kennel. I think PETA or anybody on animal rights would tell you which one would be worse to do to a dog. But again, there are many other things that I've seen about Romney that have been put forward that are they're just distortions, and there's this constantly perpetuated thing. I'm going to put up some links. First, I'm going to link to this movie. Another thing I want to do is put a shout out for a movie. I saw it online streaming for a brief period of time when they allowed it. The movie is called Article 6, and it's a really good movie. I suggest anyone that's going to vote to watch this movie beforehand, if at all possible. It talks about Article 6 of the Constitution, Faith, Politics, in America. That's the full title, Article 6, Faith, Politics, America. And I'll also put up some other links related to Mitt Romney. Another thing I would suggest would be to take a look at this. It's called A Mormon in the White House by Hugh Hewitt. Oh, I'm not doing that right. A Mormon in the White House by Hugh Hewitt. It says 10 things every American should know about Mitt Romney. And it addresses a lot of the things and demonstrates how in many ways this label of flip-flopper is just not accurate. People who are giving it either have an agenda or simply haven't looked at all the facts, haven't looked at it with any degree of nuance or respect for the truth. I mean, it's all talking points. It's all what we can put out there to smear and give the appearance of something. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.